Welcome back, everybody. We are within 10 days of having to leave for Southeast Street and Yeet. It's an 8th mile drag and drive event, North Carolina, South Carolina. It's not as big yet. I have a feeling it will get popular. And, you know, it's... Oh, I'm like, why doesn't it roll easy? I got this little Jim Jam, little holder jammy here. I think it will be a popular event. I think it's getting there. And, you know, I think the biggest problem with drag and drives is there's so many over it now. I don't want to say it, but I think the market's getting saturated with them. And there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. I just think it makes people, I don't want to say lazy. That's not the word I'm looking for. But, you know, there's no sense of adventure if you don't ever get out of your own area. If you're racing your own tracks that you normally race at to begin with, like, what? Oh, you can do that on your own Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend and make a weekend of it. I love the drag and drive stuff because it gets me to see different parts of the country, race on new tracks, see new people, do new things, eat at new restaurants. You know, that's the spirit of it. It's the adventure. You know, obviously the racing's cool, the racing's fun, but in my eyes, that's not what the events are around. I mean, well, I hope it doesn't turn for the worse with all these events that are coming and going. Not going, but coming. Like, there's a lot of events now. So, oh, I bet you I have a little bit of a water intrusion on this trailer. And I bet you it's because I never sealed that. So I'm gonna have to drill these rivets. This was supposed to get trimmed out around it, and it just never did. So I'll probably just pop them rivets, bend it back a little bit, and a little dabble do ya silicone. But we're almost ready, which is unheard of for me for one of these. This is essentially ready to race. The only thing I want to do is hook up. I got to finish wiring in the plug for the drive shaft speed sensor. But other than that, I'm just going to pop the hood, just double, triple check everything. It was on the lift, oil's changed, fluids changed. The only thing I didn't change is the rear diff because that got changed in the middle of the year. Yeah, I mean, that's, in my eyes, pretty much as ready as it can be. I got to stick the door bar back in it. I got to stick the window net in it. But, you know, this car is as ready as it can be for me. The trailer, on the other hand, we did the brake lights. The brake lights are all done, which I think they came out pretty cool. I think they look cool. Yeah, I like them. We'll see how they do. I might end up getting, just because of how low they are, I might get like, you know, a couple little clearance lights for this thing, just because, oh, I don't have one down here. Don't tell the DOT, hopefully I can get pulled over. So I'll probably put a couple small LED clearance lights in this thing eventually. Who knows? Maybe I'll sell it this year and actually buy the one I want. This is a 4x4. I'd love to go to a 4x6. I wish I made this a 4x6, but who knows? I don't know if I could ever sell this. It's hard for me to sell hand-built objects. And this is one of those things. But one of the problems I had was the Harbor Freight frame. Let's see, you can see here, not great light. So the actual box, right, is on this part of the frame. The tongue is separate and it's bolted in the channel. Well, the problem I was having was the V's bouncing. You see the gap there? So I made this bracket and I screwed it down. But, you know, with the flexing on this frame, it obviously just, you know, the self-tappers didn't work. So what I got to do is I got to drop off the spare tire, Gotta fill it up anyway. Drop that off. I'm gonna drill up through here, and we're gonna nut and bolt this so it makes it more rigid. I have to mount my license plate. I forgot about that. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do about that either. Let's go get it off the big trailer. So I thought about just screwing it in. Oh, it'd actually have to be down here. You know, screw it through the door. Straighten it out. I don't know. Can you mount them sideways? Can I mount it just like that? I wonder what the rules are on that. Okay, I think the trailer's pretty much ready to go. I bent this bracket up so there wasn't much of a gap pulling. Some bolts through there, so that's solid now. Let's see if it tears the whole trailer apart now. Redid this. Swapped those because I had to pull it off. The license plate's mounted on it. No light on it, obviously, but I don't know how much I care. You know, if I get pulled over, I'll worry about that later. But I don't care. So now it's time to start filling it with everything we need. Which, the more you do these things, the more you figure out what you need. It's also going to depend on your vehicle. If it's a junky, sloppy pile of shit, you might want to stick like a spare engine, a spare computer, a spare transmission, a spare turbo in there. Seriously, like, if you build a pile of shit, you're going to have problems. I guarantee it. You know, it is not, everybody's like, I actually had a run-in the guy with the other day. Some guy's like, oh, almost everybody finishes them. They're not that hard. And I'm like, no. I said, everybody 10-0 and up pretty much finishes it all the time. And it's not a jab at the slower guys. Like, they have the most fun. But when you start getting in that, you know, 8 second, 7 second, 6 second zone, it becomes a lot of work, it becomes a lot of upkeep, and it becomes a lot of maintenance and work to keep the car going down the road. It's not as easy. I've been very lucky. I think, well, we hurt the tranny last year, lost brakes last year, but the tranny was like the parking pawl, so I could have dropped it, and I could have dropped the pan in the parking lot, but spark plug wires, last year was relatively not bad, but I test my stuff. I test, I check, I double check, I triple check, I quadruple check. I don't build junk. I make sure it's good to go. So, saying that, if you build a quality car, you won't need to do as much to it. Or if you overbuilt your car, like my buddy Mark, who built like a freaking 690 Chevelle, but he's gonna run 850 with it. You know, you're running the combo at half its potential, so you're not gonna be running it on the ragged edge every time you make a pass. You know, you're gonna be babying it. Like, that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about a motor change in my car, because my eventual goal, 5 years, my 5-year goal is to go 200 miles an hour on drag week. Will an LS get me there? Yeah, it can be done. But for how long? Like, can you get a 200 mile an hour, which is like a 7.0, 690 pass, and then drive it 300 miles, and then run 200 miles again, and then drive it 300 miles, and run 200 miles again? I just don't think the LS is reliable enough in that 1,800, 2,000 horsepower range. Yeah, it's 6-bolt block, blah, 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 blah. But if I'm going to spend that money, I might as well just put a big block in it. You know, you can get a Dart Big M block, $3,500. You know, it's almost the same money to build a mediocre big block Chevy as it is a high-end LS. to do the same exact things. You know, I could build a mediocre big block and make 2,000 horsepower. Yeah, it's heavier, it's bigger, it's a lot heavier than my aluminum LS, but I can't afford an aluminum big block. So that's the conundrum I've been battling with for about a year now about my future goals. Saying that, I'm gonna try to make it a little bit smaller this year on stuff. I'm not gonna bring transmission fluid with me. I'm gonna bring 1 quart, just a little top off. I'm gonna bring an oil change with me just in case, and I can't get Schaefer's at like an AutoZone. So I'm gonna bring 10 quarts of oil with me and my oil filter. I'm not bringing rear diff fluid this time. This is all stuff I can get at parts stores. So I've never had problems with those 2 units, so I'm not gonna bring stuff for it. I'm gonna bring a spare alternator just because I have one and it's small enough. I spare fittings and bolts and screws and stuff like that. Yes, absolutely. Tools, yes, absolutely. Let me see here. Spare spark plugs, rivet tool. You know, I gotta get. I have 2 more quarts because I buy a 12 pack when I change my oil, and I only use 10, and I just don't know where they are. So, like in this box, I have some spare valve springs, retainers, push rods, yeah, rocker bolts, you know, stuff like that. Spare rockers, a couple spare sensors, plugs, spare boost solenoid. Nothing crazy, just very generic stuff. I haven't needed any of it. I've not used a single thing out of this box yet. I'm saying that I won't, because we know sensors go bad. Do I expect to have a problem with valve springs? No, but they're so small and they're light that it just makes sense to carry a couple of spares in case you do have an issue. I have a lot of road miles on mine now. Like I said, they're very small and very light. That's why I'll carry them. Here, I have all sorts of things. A Honda Bond, Ultra Copper, Quick Weld, electrical tape, cutoff wheels, ARP lube, you know, 2-part epoxies. This is like a crazy glue, aluminum seal for your radiator, spare relay, sensor block, I don't know, but like I have everything for my Clearview in here. If you have specialty stuff like this, Clearview, you're not gonna find parts for this on the road. You know, the O-rings and the filters and the screens and stuff, so always have spares of that. Spare ribbon cable for my arc panel, because that's been a problem. I've lost enough of these to carry 2 spares for my strange front brakes. A spare cable for my laptop, spare parachute, random nuts and bolts and duct tape and rivets, and well, I don't have a T6 turbo anymore, but a lot of my friends do, so I'll just keep that anyway. Garbage bag, zip ties, you know, a couple spare spark plug wires down in there. What else we got here? We got spare trunnion? I don't even have trunnions in this car. These are nuts for the back of my wheel studs in the back. I lost a couple. Pinion seals, 2 spare 1350 yokes, water pump gaskets, turbo seals, you know, injector filter jammy thingy, intake manifold gasket, O-rings for the injectors, you know, hitch pins, just all random little stuff that you can't find on the road. Yes, I could probably find 1350 joints on the road and stuff like that, but if I slung a 1350 joint, I ain't going nowhere. So here I got fittings, tons of fittings. I'm gonna throw some more in there. Fittings scare me, so I literally just emptied my whole box in here. This is a couple spare lug nuts. I don't even know what these studs are for, but you know, spare screws, hitch pins, USB adapter, plugs, razor blades, Zeus's. And there's caps in here too. Caps are always good to have. Take your fuel system apart or something. So, oh, there's a tube of, I just took this out. And what I'll do, you know, that's not all of it. I also have it. This is like an electrical boo-boo box with fuses and connectors and everything. Oil filter, copper spray gasket, head gaskets, spares, thread locker, dielectric grease, suntan, sunscreen, RTV, little roll of PTFE, little baby bottle, baby blaster, some rags. One thing I always needed was like shopping bags, like, you know, the ones you get groceries in, because you always got a mess in the car when you're on these long drives. So I always keep those. Gloves, funnels, transmission, and oil, just in case. So that's like the fluids and random spares I bring. Oh, I throw a couple cans of brake cleaner in there. That's pretty much that. Put the spark plugs in here now. If you don't pre-gap your spark plugs, make sure you bring your gapping tools. I do both. I don't trust no one, even myself. Spare full CO2 bottle. I made sure that shit was full. I want to try to mount it up somewhere. I want to get like a cheap mount. So, because if anybody remembers videos from last year, I went to go loan that out to Dean, who was in second place in front of me on the last day. He ran out of CO2. Well, I gave him that, and it was empty somehow. It still had the yellow seal on there, but it was empty. Never paid attention. It's just a spare bottle I've had for a couple of years that I just bring for this stuff. Bring whatever hand tools you need. I bring a lot of tools, and I don't care that it's heavy and extra weight. I don't want to be missing tools. I cannot stand it. The Milwaukee Packout stuff's great, because obviously you can see the electrical box. You can see that box, and then this is my tool box. I have that box. That's what I keep on. I want to get one of the 3-drawer ones. If I have some spare cash before I go, I'll do it, because that one's a pain in the ass. And I have this one that I put on top. It's just a crate. And in the crate is, I'm bringing my heater hoses with me, just in case it's cold. I don't know. Spare hose. I got a couple other pieces to stick in there. Some spare clamps. Doo-doo paper, because you never know. A fully loaded hub for this. This is ready to go. Grease, bearings, the whole nine is in there. Inverter and a full set of bearings for this, not greased. I bought this first and then managed to find one of those. So that's in the crate, but I'll stick like the alternator in there, some more hose in there, some vacuum hose in there, miscellaneous crap like that. But I love the Packout. This is my toolbox that I've been using. So I usually fill this thing up. I used to have it stacked all up, and then I started to get it all situated. But, you know, I bring my electric tools. I bring a full set of short and deep sockets. I bring whatever, you know, I guess 17 and 19, 21, 22, 24 half-inch sockets. Specialty like an oil pressure sensor socket. Oh, I don't need it for this anymore with the Gen 4. Full set of gear wrenches, specialty wrenches that I use for a couple of things. Like if I have to take my drive shaft out, I got this long 10 mil snap-on. So stuff like that. You know, whatever wrenches I need to adjust the rear control arm times. Those are, make sure the jam nuts are tight. But a canopy, again, mounted up here. Well, those feel a little loose, but whatever. I got a fender cover and a moving blanket. And that's where I'll put, like, you know, my fluids and all that crap up out of the way where I don't need it. Bring a towel. Always bring a towel. A, to dry your car if it rains, and B, overnight with the condensation, if you don't have wipers, put this on your windshield. I forgot last year. We're in a gas station buying microfibers to dry the car. Bring a drain bucket. Bring a big enough drain bucket to drain all your stuff. And that, I mean, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna change my oil. I'm not gonna, yeah, like, that's fine. But like, let's say if I decided to fix my transmission last year, drop the pan, the fluid was good. I could have drained it in here and then put it back into the car, because I always keep my drain pans clean too. Drain pans. And so for my wheel change kit, some people torque their wheels. I won't talk badly about them. I bring my 1/2-inch Milwaukee, small Harbor Freight jack, and a Milwaukee air pump. That's how we do all the wheel changes. I wish this was a little bit bigger, or I had outside mounts for the wheels. I've still been contemplating that, but it kind of makes me nervous leaving wheels bolted to the outside of the trailer. If the wheels weren't ever in here, I like the amount of room I have. Look, plenty of room. You put the tires in, it takes up half this floor. It's, you know, I've done it twice. I've loaded this trailer probably 10 times. I still can't get like a rhythm down. And after day one, forget it. It goes to a complete bomb in there. In mine, I really like Mark and Ed's trailer. It's like a flip top, and I don't know, it's hard to explain. Maybe I'll show you guys when we're there this year. But yeah, so it's time to start packing that. As I pack this up, we'll talk more in depth about everything, because this is final push on this. This is done. This is ready to go. I just got to load it up and then get it on the trailer. Like I said, the car's pretty much done too. So this is the final push for race week. I know it's not Rocky Mountain Race. I call everything race week. It just makes it easier. Prepping for street and yeet. I looked at the weather, and it's gonna be cold. We're putting the heat back in the car, which consists of the heater hoses, which I showed you guys before. I just had to pop the 2 caps off down here, right there. Put them on up here, and add some more water. And the beauty of having an electric water pump is I don't need to start it. Just gotta turn the power on. And what's cool, my water pump. Boom. Getting out the last little bit of air, and then I gotta I just got to make sure that the wiring is on the switch, because the last time I pulled the console, I didn't hook it back up because it was like, you know, May. I'm like, I'm not using heat, so I just got to make sure that works. Wire in the new radio, and this rig will actually be ready.
Sorry. Hello. Says
Are you recording me? Are you recording me? Yeah, huh?
No, I'm finding something that is so spooky.
All right, you ready to go upstairs?
Huh?
Yeah. All right, give me that.
Okay.
All right, so the last thing I did was put the heat in. The heater hoses got that all circulated, but I had to plug it back in. Last time I had a bunch of the wiring out, I never plugged it in because I'm like, whatever. Now I got, oh, let me hear this. Speakers, but I throw it back old school. My buddy Jason sent me this radio. I was dying to have it. Anybody have the trim ring? I need a trim ring. I gotta put, I don't remember this being so loose or why this was so loose, but radio's in, speakers are in. I gotta order one grill. I have that one. I gotta order one more, take these panels off and pop it, so those will be nice and covered, but no antenna. I'm waiting for my RCA to lightning cable to come in so I can actually plug my phone into this so I actually have a radio again. And oh yeah, we got heat again, so we are good to go. I'm pretty stoked for all that. So the car's, the only thing I gotta do is this one plug. I wear this one plug in under the car, but I'm being lazy. When I jack it up this weekend to put the radials on, because I'm gonna tow it down. Let me get this bar right here. I'm gonna tow it down to South Carolina on the radials, so I don't have so much stuff to swap over when I get there. Like, I don't swap over nothing. So when I get there, unload it, hook the trailer to it, and then drive right into tech. I'll put these on, and when I do that, I'll wire that drive shaft speed plug in. But now the concentration's on this, getting that all situated, getting it. So I had 5 quarts, 5 more. Bringing the essential for me and my buddy Mark. A couple cans of brake clean. If you run any specialty fluids, like I ran this 5.1 trying to cure some brake fade. Although, one can, I gotta get one more can of X85. Fill this bad baby up from my Terra pump. And I'll bring one spare empty one in case I gotta drop pump gas into something. So, this, one will be full, one will be empty, and then I'll have the can. And we'll see where we go from there. We're getting down to the wire. A lot of work to do this weekend of the trailer because I don't have my board. But, I'm getting odds and ends together, stuff I need, stuff I don't want to forget. Miscellaneous battery terminals, a bunch of brake line stuff, wheel studs, just in case. Very lazy. They gave this as drag week last year. Thought it was pretty cool. It's a funnel. How cool is that? Bunch of zip ties, TPS sensor, bunch of random big bolts in case of one. Starter bolts, because apparently that's an issue in my car. Just going through randomness, grabbing stuff I think I'll need. Be good to have. I think I'm pretty much done under the hood. I think we're ready. I think the car's ready. Better lack of sense of words. This is the most ready we've been. Say hi.
Hi.
All right, so we're out here working on my stepdad's trailer, which we were going to use to leave. Hey, hold on. Give me a minute. You can hold it in a minute. Which we were going to use to put the car and trailer on to go to Street and Eat. Sitting here doing the brakes all morning, which is a fiasco. As you can see, it's literally all new. New bearings, the whole nine. Dave is tightening up the axle behind me, you know, the bolts to hold the backing plate on. And he probably just saved my car. And I'm gonna show you why. So now we have to pivot and probably take his truck, which is gonna get terrible gas mileage, but it'll get the same gas mileage as mine because he just found this broken leaf spring. Yeah. I don't have time to fix that. All the bolts are welded in. I'm sure the nuts are welded in, so this is all gonna have to be cut out and redone. They even welded, stop. They even welded these in. Terribly at that. So it's gonna be a lot of work. So we got one brake done, bearing buddy, which I've never put on.
All right, now you're gonna push this button to test the fuel.
Oh, look at him go! Oh, perfect stop, buddy.
Yeah, that's talent right there. Couldn't do that again.
Okay, let's do that again.
All right, we got everything loaded up. Fuel, this is tire changing tools. Got all our essentials up here. Gonna charging the other two batteries. Everything pretty much loaded in for the most part. I have this broken trailer. I have to use the big trailer.
Fruit punch wins.
All right, loading up the car today. Got a spare flag for when that one shits the bed. We got the white truck hooked up to the trailer, which fingers crossed that it makes the trip. We're gonna find out. Back to 7.5 miles to the gallon. It's gonna suck, but that is what it is. We're on plan C. Plan D would be Dave's truck. Plan E would be driving the car, which that I don't want to do. Let's get this thing loaded in the car. I have to have the wife come out and help me, direct me in. This is actually gonna stink. Oh. All right. Everything's loaded up in plan C. A little tight. And here we gotta unpack the parachute so it fits. But it's all in here. A little bit of room. No room. But this truck is going to be very unhappy this whole time. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this. We're the only thing I got to grab from work is a torque wrench. So I think we're going to call this good. Call this ready as we're going to be. It's going to be some absolute killers there, but you know, I don't go to these to think I'm gonna win. I go to these to have fun. I go with these to hang out with friends. And if I come home with some hardware, so be it. You know, that makes it for a great day. I don't mind coming home with trophies. I'd like to do a little bit better than 2 third-place finishes. Oh. Okay. You know, I'd like to do better than 2 third-placers, but I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm going to have some tacos. I'm going to go have some margaritas with my buddies from Florida. Going to go to new tracks, go to new states, You know, I get to put 4 tracks on my list of tracks that I've raced at. And I'm gonna go have a good time and meet some people that I've been friends with on Facebook forever and put names to faces and everything. But yeah, so we're gonna call this good. I'm gonna finish strapping this down, get it locked up, and we're gonna head out real early Wednesday morning, like 3 or 4 a.m. It's 11 hours. Car's gotta get a bath when it get down there. It's 760 miles, 11 hours straight. That's without fuel stops. So we're going to go from there. So get in your garage, grab a cold drink, build a badass hot rod. Have a good night, guys.